From the University of North Dakota in Grand Forks, this is Studio One.
Hi everyone and welcome to Studio One. Today on the show, Tampa, Florida is known to most as a vacation spot. However, this April, 20 UND students took what they call a business trip there to chase a dream. We'll meet one of them who will tell us how they made it come true.
Also, an afternoon at a gun club can be a great way to perfect your shot or be with friends. See how a group of sharpshooters is using more than just clay pigeons to have a good time. But first, former House Speaker Dennis Hastert has received his sentence for a hush money case. Hastert was sentenced to 15 months in prison and ordered to pay $250,000 to a victim's fund. The case revealed that he was being accused of sexually abusing young boys when he was a teacher and wrestling coach in Illinois. Federal officials determined he was paying hush money to one alleged victim. Hastert will also have 2 years of supervised release once he finishes his prison term. Harvard University officials are beginning to worry about a mumps outbreak on campus. 40 people have become ill since the outbreak about 2 months ago. However, most of those affected will make a full recovery. The university says it's more concerned than ever because the outbreak continues to spread despite all efforts to isolate the patients. The Harvard health director says next month's commencement ceremony could be affected. Traditional earth burials have been the standard way to say goodbye to loved ones for centuries. However, an increasing number of Americans are now turning to another way of remembering those who have passed. In the last 15 years, the number of cremations in the U.S. has nearly doubled. The Cremation Association of North America says cremation will become equally as popular as traditional burials by the year 2019. There are several factors leading to this result. One is cost. The National Funeral Directors Association estimates the average adult funeral starts at around $7,000 and can skyrocket with each variable added. Cremation hovers around a median of $6,000. Even though a cremation may save you some money, there are often buried options.
Many families, when they've heard their loved ones say that I want to be cremated, they figure that they have all the decisions made, and really they have more decisions to make with cremation than you would with an earth burial.
Among the decisions that still remain, Amundsen says families receive help in completing the death certificate, writing an obituary, as well as organizing funeral arrangements.
Scientists in Japan have discovered a way to help solve the world's fast-growing pollution problem. They found a strain of bacteria that can eat plastic. This species is called Ideonella sacchagensis. It fully breaks down one of the most common plastics in water bottles. The World Economic Forum states that almost a third of all plastic packaging escapes collection systems and ends up in nature.
A trip to the library is a classic childhood experience. However, many libraries today are finding new ways to reach out to their community.
For many, the library represents a simpler time in life.
For me, the library is being a little kid, and my dad would bring me on the weekends and I could barely see over the counter, but the librarians were always really helpful and they'd take me upstairs, show me the children's books were.
Alicia Walstead says her experience with the library has changed since then.
I want to come to make a difference in my community compared to when I was little.
Alicia is doing this by sharing her love of books with others.
I run the Classic Rereads book club, and so we spend a lot of time reading the books you probably didn't get a chance to finish in high school because people are busy.
Getting lost in a novel is no longer the only thing to do at the library.
It's just a relaxation group. A lot of people are getting into the coloring as a form of relaxation, and we thought, why not try it at the library?
In addition to the coloring club, the library has also added several unique programs for the community.
We have gaming events that they can come and game. That's open for all ages. We also have a Animanga group, which are people that are into anime and manga.
Even with all the updates the library has made recently, some still feel there's room for improvement.
We need more space. I would say that would be the number one. The programming here is terrific, but there are a lot of constraints based purely on there's just not enough room for all these different organizations.
Whether it's a coloring club or a gaming event, the library is always finding new ways to get its community involved. This is Mike Rouser reporting for Studio One.
In addition to offering programs of their own, most public libraries also offer meeting spaces for local organizations. Kari, that's the news for now.
Thanks, Avery. Let's go now to Kaela Lucke for the weather news. Kaela?
Thanks, Kari. Here at the Weather Studio, we're taking a look at all the severe thunderstorms that occurred earlier this week down south. Down in Kearney, Oklahoma, storms damaged a shop and a barn. Luckily, no animals or employees were hurt, and the house near the shop and barn was not damaged. Heading down to Livingston, Texas, we can see how roofs were being ripped off of buildings. Overall, there were 8 tornadoes and over 600 reports of severe weather. All this severe weather is found on a storm reports map on the Storm Prediction Center. As we look at the map, most of you might think that all this gray is a bunch of clouds. However, if we zoom in, we can actually see how these are actually numbers. Now, you may not be able to read these numbers, but each number is associated with a time that the event occurred. My friends that were storm chasers on Tuesday did not see a tornado, and today we're going to figure out why they didn't see a tornado and how they find the tornadoes. Now, they use a variety of different maps, and one of the graphs they use is a weather sounding. On this weather sounding, you can see the wind barbs right here, which will determine the wind shear, and we can actually see the instability in the air by this graph over here. Now, this graph over here is made when they send up a weather balloon, and when that weather balloon comes down, it brings down with it the temperatures and the heights of the different parts of the atmosphere. The higher the numbers are over here, the more severe the weather, which on Tuesday, all those numbers did pan out. However, the wind shear over here was not strong enough to produce a tornado. Now, winds do affect airplanes and weather, and we're going to find out how they actually affect the pilots too.
Every aviator knows that weather is king when they fly amongst the clouds. Pilots sometimes run into inclement weather, making it hard for them to get their gears off the ground.
And whether we go by wind, visibility, cloud ceiling height, day, night have separate limitations.
Jeremy Raisler works with a team to decide when conditions are safe for UND student pilots. Safety will always be of the highest importance, even in months when dealing with the weather is a challenge.
No Fly November is there's some truth to that. The reality is, as far as winter is concerned, the colder it is, the better the weather is.
As much as weather dictates as to when UND pilots can fly, their level of experience handling the weather is important as well.
So a student starting out in Aviation 102 is going to be flying visually, and so they need a good cloud ceiling height, good visibility.
More experienced pilots have been rated to handle the conditions that beginners cannot.
Today is a matter of looking at the weather reports and making the right decisions as to when to fly and when not to fly.
With weather at the control wheel, pilots can count on it steering their course. Reporting for Studio One, I'm Nick Saul.
Cold weather and high pressure systems give airplanes better performance, making North Dakota a great place to learn how to fly in the winter or any time of year. And that brings us to our weather question of the week. What scale is used today to classify tornadoes? Is that A, the Fujita scale, B, the Richter scale, C, the enhanced Fujita scale, or D, the Saffir-Simpson scale? Now, Kari, this scale goes on a scale from 0 to 5, with 5 being the most damaging and the strongest.
Great, thanks Kaela. Now let's head on over to Avery with the sports story of today's show. Avery?
Thanks, Kari. Gunshots startle most people, but to one group, it means relaxation and just having fun.
Most races start with a gunshot. This one starts with a buzz. But to some, this race serves as more than just competition.
I just enjoy the sport and the people and the challenge.
I don't know, I just come out, tried a match, and got hooked.
Jim and Mark have been shooting guns for over 30 years. And for the past 20, they've been passing on their passion to anyone willing to try the sport.
We have every range of conceivable here. We have doctors, businessmen, law enforcement officers, nurses.
Jim has been holding shooting competitions at his shooting range since 1997, and even has his own competitive past.
I have been shooting around the country in regional and state events, and I've shot in both the World Shoots and 14 of the 16 national matches.
He and Mark have been competing as a team for several years, and have even gone to multiple national tournaments.
Get a little nervous once in a while, but you kind of calm that down and see how you can do under stress, and I think it's fun. I love it out here.
Even with bragging rights looming during every competition, the most important thing to them is gun safety. That includes teaching 11-year-old competitors.
They've already been taught gun safety in the house already with even their play guns, so.
Some focus on the target, but for these two, their aim is on having fun and being safe. For Studio One, I'm Andrew McCarthy.
Jim and Mark say their favorite part of this competition is watching new shooters come out for the first time and just enjoy themselves. And that's the sports story for today's show. Kari, I'd be lucky to just hit the target.
I'd be right there with you. Thanks, Avery. Many of the players on the latest University of North Dakota men's hockey team are already drafted to the NHL. This year, they won the national championship. We'll talk to their captain next.
Closed captioning for Studio One is underwritten in part by NDAD, helping others to help themselves.
For me to go to college, it was a big step knowing that I'm pursuing a better future for myself. When you know that you have a small system there that you can still find comfort in, it really makes a difference. The support here and everything that they offer for us, you know, the tutors, the free meals, the family, the friends, basically just somewhere for you to relax and be comfortable and find that home feeling again.
Yeah, okay, science meets imagination. Life changed by innovation. They're the future of our nation. Engineers the occupation. UND College of Engineering and Mines. Invest in your mind to stay with the times. Formulas, machines, and all that's in between. They teach it all from wall to wall to help you succeed. Come on, it could be electrical, chemical, or civil. Our world-class staff will help you make it all official. Mechanical, petroleum, geology align at the
UND's College of Engineering and Mines.
Okay, become a leader, prove yourself among all your peers. Changing the world begins right here. You're not alone, but in the plan, we'll take your hand and help you stand with mentorship and advising. We'll do all we can. Okay, so if you want to join the party, simply calculate. The math adds up, so never think to hesitate. Education, leadership, and dreams combined at the UND College of Engineering and Mines.
I really love UND.
It's just exactly what I want to be doing, and you know, with this program I get to do it.
It's very tailored to what your interests are and what your future goals are.
By the time I graduate, I'll have a stacked resume.
This grad program has been unbelievable. It has literally been a dream come true.
With more than 120 degree and certificate programs, the UND School of Graduate Studies is your path to success.
Closed captioning for Studio One is supported in part by the Listen Center, enriching the lives of people who have intellectual disabilities with choices in community recreation.
On April 9th, the UND men's hockey team made North Dakota proud. They defeated Quinnipiac 5-1 in front of almost 20,000 fans to win the Frozen Four. Junior defenseman Gage Ausmus is here to tell us what makes a winning team. Thanks for being on the show with us today,
Thanks
Gage.
for having me, Kari.
And first of all, congratulations.
Oh, thank you. And I'd like to apologize for my low voice here. I kind of lost it the last couple days, so.
It's no problem.
Yeah.
So being an East Grand Forks native, you grew up watching UND hockey. What does it mean to you to be able to bring the championship trophy home?
Well, it's everything. You know, I grew up watching North Dakota hockey and, you know, always just hoping I get the chance to, you know, play for this team. And it's unbelievable to end that 16-year drought of the national championship and be a part of it.
Yeah, so with that 16-year really long wait and a few heartbreaking losses, what was going through your mind when you were waiting for the puck to drop for that game?
You know what? I couldn't tell you. It was I couldn't sleep for 2 nights. You know, I always take a pregame nap, and you know, I couldn't fall asleep then. And you catch yourself laying in bed, staring at the sky, and you know, it's things racing through your mind. And it was an unbelievable moment for us to finally get that done.
So what was special about your team this year that allowed you guys to win the whole thing?
Yeah, well, we had a lot of special aspects to our team with you know, the CBS line. You don't get players like that very often, and obviously our coaching staff was second to none, and our goaltender was a question mark coming into the season, and you know, obviously he proved to be very successful this year. So that was great to have.
So Coach Brad Berry was your assistant last year, and this year he moved up to be your head coach. What changed with that?
You know, not much. I'd say Hack and Coach Berry coach the same philosophies and stuff like that. They have different ways of intimidating you. Hack kind of just stares into your soul, and you know, Brad, you just don't want to let him down because you respect him so much. So, but both the guys are great coaches, and I'm just very happy that Brad could get his first national championship in his first year.
Your team had a lot of fans, both in Tampa and then back when you guys were welcomed at home. What is it like to have such a great support system?
Well, they're a big part of our success throughout the years. You know, no one else has the support we have, and everywhere we go, as you can see on the screen here, it's a sea of green in the crowd, and it's tough not to win those games when you have that much support behind you.
So you and then 4 of your other teammates are all from this area. What is it like to be able to achieve something like that with kids you grew up with?
Yeah, it was funny. We all kind of grew up, you know, competing with each other, and you know, knowing what it takes to play North Dakota hockey, and it's kind of a coincidence that we're all here together, winning this the 8th national championship. But it's great to you know, look back and now see where we are today. It's great.
Do you think that bond played a little bit of a role in the success that you guys have had?
Yeah, for sure. It helped us become better players, for sure. We all worked out together and skated together when we were younger, and you know, we even worked with Brad Berry before we were committed here, and as we were kids, and he was a big part of our success as we were younger too.
What do you think that the biggest thing is you learned throughout this entire process?
Well, you know, it's I think we've had great teams my 3 years. All 3 years we've had great teams, and you know, all 3 of those teams could have won it. And it's just a tough tournament to win, and you know, you got to get the right bounces and have the right way things go your way and stuff like that. So we were fortunate enough to have things go our way this year, and it couldn't be better.
Was it difficult for you during playoffs to juggle school and hockey?
Yeah, it's you know, you want to think about hockey when it comes down to that time, and it was nice of the professors at UND to you know, give us a few off days there and let us catch up on our missed work.
What makes a Frozen Four difficult to win, do you think?
Well, it's a one-game format. It's you know, you lose, you're out. So you know, we played a Quinnipiac team in the championship that have lost 4 games all season, and you know, we lost 6 games. So either one of those teams could have, you know, won that game, and it's just it's tough when you only have 1 game to do it. So you got to bring your best every night.
So how much fun was it when you guys, after winning, came back and got to show all your fans in the community the trophy?
Oh, it was great. You know what? After we won, you're looking at your Snapchat is the first thing you're looking at to, you know, see the celebration at Joe Black's or Bonzer's or downtown Grand Forks, stuff like that. It's just unbelievable to you know, see all those fans and how happy they were and how much joy we could bring them from. You know, they've been waiting for a while, and I think they deserve this one.
Yeah, you told me that growing up UND was your favorite team, and that you could have never imagined seeing yourself in this spot today. What would you tell a kid that is where you are right now?
Yeah, a younger kid, you mean? Like, you know what? I'd tell him he's got to work hard, and he's got to want it. You know, it doesn't come easy. It doesn't just fall right into your lap. Playing for this team, you have to work for it, and you have to you know, sacrifice from some time to get to this position. So I just say, you know, if you want to get something done, if you want to accomplish something, you're gonna have to work for it, and you know, hard work usually results in good results. So.
Great. Well, congratulations again, and thank you so much for being on the show with us today.
Thank you, Kari.
Whether it's a Pilsner or a lager or an ale, breweries around the world have their own twists on perfecting beer. Next, learn how one brewmaster crafts his own special recipe.
Studio One closed captioning is underwritten in part by Options, your disability information source.
size of the woman in the fight. It's the size of the fight in the woman.
Really admire the faculty. They're the ones that kind of helped push me through this.
Courses are hands-on and interactive. The communication program has so many different facets to it. One of the great things about the staff in the communication department is that they love what they do. They encourage you to really critically think and analyze everything you're learning. They're so into it, and it makes you want to be into it.
North Dakota is facing challenges in healthcare delivery. The University of North Dakota School of Medicine and Health Sciences is building a place to help meet the state's healthcare needs. In addition to a new structure, we're also building interaction between healthcare professionals while building a workforce through expanding class sizes. We're inspiring our youth to engage in healthcare careers and exploring ways to reduce disease. It starts here and ends here, building a better future for North Dakota.
To have the future you want and a career you'll be proud of, you'll need a great education. The University of North Dakota can get you there with more than 225 degree programs, preparing you for today's fastest growing, high-demand careers, like medicine and health professions, aerospace, business, engineering, and energy. Schedule your campus visit today at und.edu/go, because to succeed, you need to be exceptional.
If you would like to attend a live show, go to our website at studio1.und.edu.
Comedy Central's Jordan Peele and Keegan-Michael Key come together on the big screen for the first time in a new action comedy, Keanu. A kitten appears on Rel's doorstep, giving him happiness after being dumped by his girlfriend. When someone steals his new friend, Rel teams up with his cousin Clarence to get the kitten back. They soon learn a thug named Cheddar has the animal. Rel and Clarence must pose as street-smart drug dealers to bring Keanu home before leading into too much trouble.
We think of this as like the most expensive kitten video of all time. And we're basically using the cuteness of this cat to pluck at the heartstrings.
The role of Keanu was played by 7 different brown tabbies, each of which were rescued by the American Humane Society. The animal trainer says it took a while to get the kittens acclimated to the sound and people that were working on set. As the trainers worked with the kittens, they discovered each one had a particular strength. Keanu is set to hit theaters April 29th with an R rating. Debates over the best athlete of all time can ruin friendships. With the retirements of legendary players like Peyton Manning and Kobe Bryant, discussions over their ranks in history are running wild. We wanted your thoughts on which athletes impacted their sports the most.
Steph Curry did 400 three-pointers and led his team to 73 wins.
I think Kobe Bryant, because just the way that he played with the intensity he had really just changed how everybody thought about the game of basketball.
I think Jesse Owens impacted track and field a lot because he was an African American and he broke the color barrier.
Steph Curry, because he's completely changed basketball. It used to be kind of a game where you get to the rim, play inside, and now the three-point shot is one of the most dangerous shots in basketball.
It is Cristiano Ronaldo. He is one of the best players in the world. He's also one of the fastest and best skilled.
Well, I think Alex Ovechkin, because he practiced when he was younger, and while he practiced, it paid off. Then he got to be in the NHL.
A comment on Facebook from Justice in Eagan, Minnesota. I believe it's Tom Brady who's been the biggest impact. During this new era, he's led his team to 6 Super Bowls. 4 of them he's won, and this has been with the Patriots. And from Kate in Fargo, North Dakota, I believe one of the biggest impacts for any sport was Jackie Robinson's entry into the MLB. They even celebrated him, with every MLB player wearing his number 42 during the games.
There are many different types of jobs in the world. One man is brewing for success.
Did you go with the blonde?
People at this restaurant enjoy more than just food.
Do we need another beer or?
Beer is the drink of choice at Rhombus Guys Brewery, but their cold ones are different than most.
We use so many different types of hops and grains and just make it into something, some sort of art.
As the head brewer, Chad is responsible for perfecting every flavor before it hits the tap.
We take malted barley that's grown here in North Dakota, run it through a mill, and we're converting the starches to sugars inside the grain. In return, yeast eats those sugars and creates alcohol in beer.
Chad says the brewing takes about 6 to 8 hours, and fermentation takes 4 to 6 days.
We have sophisticated tools around here.
But there's another key component to the process.
Brewing is roughly, I say it's about 95% cleaning and sanitizing and 5% fun.
Once everything is clean and the beers are brewed, people are ready to taste Chad's hard work.
Every single one has a great aroma, it has great flavor.
I've had beer all over the world, microbrews all over the world, and this is right up there.
Each beer is special.
They're all my babies, so I can't really, I've created all the recipes here, so it's hard to choose your favorite.
Whether you're drinking the iconic blonde, the Invincible, or the Freak Show, you're tasting a glass of Chad's imagination. For Studio One, I'm Peter Monsrud.
Chad spent quite a bit of time home brewing. He said his wife was completely on board because she got to try lots of different beers. Kari, you could say that Chad's the Willy Wonka for adults.
That sounds about right. Thanks, Avery. Now Kaela joins us in the studio with a final look at the weather. Kaela?
Thanks, Kari. As we look at temperatures for the week, it's going to be pretty divided in half, with the warmer temperatures staying out west and the cooler temperatures staying out east. As we go into precipitation, we can see that Florida is finally getting some much needed rain for that drought in Southern California. As we go down to Texas, we can see that it's going to be drier out there, as they will finally be getting some relief from that flooding. And this brings us to our weather question of the week. What scale is used today to classify tornadoes? And that answer is C, the Enhanced Fujita scale. Now this scale is pretty new. It's only been used since 2007. Before that, Kari, we were using the Fujita scale, which was named by Fujita himself after he analyzed the 1957 Fargo tornado.
Well, that's a great little local fun fact. Thanks, Kaela. And that's our show for today. As always, you can follow us through social media or get more information on our website.
From all of us at Studio One, have a great week.